Good afternoon, everyone, and we are here with our mental health and wellness panel discussion. We have a number of different student affairs departments here to represent what we do to help students with their mental health and wellness. My name is Dr. Reeves Washington, and I will be moderating the panel discussion. Welcome, everyone. Sit right here. So we'll start with, if you could introduce yourselves and share with us what department you're from and what your department does.
Start down here, or start down here?
All right, let's start with me. Cool. My name is AJ King, he, him, his pronouns, and I'm the director of the Office of Intercultural Affairs and LGBTQ Resource Center. We are located in Blackburn on the ground floor, and we are a center for any and all students, really, but we definitely have a focus on our international and LGBTQI identified students to ensure that as students who are typically the most marginalized on HBCU campuses, that they have the resources, support, and advocacy that they need to build community, to network, and really just exist, right, in a space where they can, find those shared language, shared culture, shared identity. So in our center, we have spaces where you can just do homework, take your online classes. We have sofas where you can just watch TV and take a nap. If you want any of our community or internal resources around sexual health or domestic violence or mental health, we have all those available, as well as hair products and condoms and tampons and pads and anything you will need is available at our center, or even if you just need to come and talk to some staff members. But again, we are located on the ground floor of Blackburn.
All right, awesome. I'm Dr. Paris Adana. I'm the Director of Student Services. We have a plethora of options and types of services that we have in our office. In no particular order, we have the Office of Military and Veteran Services, where we process all of our military benefits, all students who are using military benefits. We have over 500 students who are currently using military benefits. And we have a new Veterans Resource Center that is down in the lower level of the quad on 4th Street. So the second office is the Office of Student Advocacy and Support, which is a newer office that we brought to Howard University, where we offer non-clinical case management. It's where students who need additional support that's not clinical, where they may need assistance with contacting the professor, they can be absent, or any type of non-clinical need, we can kind of assist. My third office is the Office of Student Accessibility, where we process all accommodation requests for as it pertains to disability, and we implement ADA. We work with our faculty and our students to ensure that students have an equitable experience. Fourthly, we have the Nourish HU, which we call the pantry. We don't like to call it just the pantry because people think it's just about food, but it's more than that. It is a resource for food, but it's also a resource for personal items. Okay, so we have, specifically to what AJ mentioned, we have hygiene products, school supplies, we have cleaning products like laundry detergent, pencils, pens, sexual health products, all kind of products, skincare. Neutrogena gave us a huge donation for the pantry. We have skincare products, so we have a lot of different types of products over there in the pantry. The pantry has 2 locations, one in College Park South and one in Blackburn. And then lastly, there is a team at Howard University that many people don't know about, and it's called the Bison Intervention Team. For short, it's called BIT, B-I-T. The intervention team is a team where several of us professionals have a roundtable discussion about students who are experiencing some type of circumstance to where they need some additional support, or if there's a threat to the university, and all of our team members act accordingly depending on each individual case. So that is what student services is.
Thank you, Dr. Adnan.
Yep.
So my name is Angie Williamco, and I am the director of the Title IX office here at the university. And the Title IX office is responsible for responding to all potential Title IX violations to the Title IX policy. Those are things like sexual assault, sexual harassment, dating and domestic violence, sexual assault, for faculty, staff, students, and all of our components at the hospital as well. We are located in the administration building on the ground floor. In Suite G06, we are available by appointment. You can make reports to the Title IX office by calling us, emailing us. web submission form, so you can visit the Title IX page, easily accessible by the main Howard University website.
Thank you.
And I am Dr. Marcus Hummings. I'm the Executive Director of the Howard University Counseling Service. We offer a variety of psychological services to the student community, short-term individual therapy, long and short-term group therapy, wellness workshops, and a variety of outreach events and efforts and consultations with faculty and student organizations. We're located at the lower level of the quad, and we also offer a after-hours crisis line that is open to all enrolled Howard students.
Okay, Dr.
And I am Cynthia Rodwell. I am the Director of Wellness and Strategy in the Office of the Dean of the Chapel. In the Office of the Dean of the Chapel, or Rankin Chapel, or the Chapel, all known by those names, we have what we call Wellness Through Faith, Service, and Justice. So with wellness as our overarching theme, we have spaces where students can practice their leadership by expressing their faith. We are very open. It is an environment where you can be of a particular religion or a particular belief system, no belief system, not sure what you believe. All of those things are welcome in that space. So it's a space for exploration as far as faith and really finding purpose and meaning. So we like to expand that faith into our wellness. And so with our wellness practices, we have a new group of students who are leading in wellness starting this semester. They have developed yoga classes, they have finger painting activities, they're partnering across campus with organizations who want to put on a wellness program, and sometimes it's meditation. And so that is, along with our Sunday chapel services under the faith side service, some of the popular ways that you can practice your leadership and be supported in your leadership development are through our Alternative Spring Break program. Alternative Spring Break also administers the Howard University Day of Service, which many students participate in Bison Week each year. In addition, there are service projects going on all of the time. We had service projects going on earlier today in the building. So if service is your thing and that's the way that you find meaning, there's a place for you in the chapel. And justice. We have our youth justice advocates who work with the DC students who are in the DC Service Center, formerly known as the Detention Center, so they're in the criminal justice system. So we're working on a weekly basis, several times a week, sending students in as mentors. And so there are ways for you to practice. Those are just some examples of practicing your leadership through justice.
Thank you, Ms. Rockwell.
I'm Madeline Safu, campus dietitian for Howard Dining Services. We have several locations. I don't think I can name it all at once, but 2 dining locations and our retail operation, including Chick-fil-A, and also as a campus dietitian, I provide services to our students, including dietary accommodation for food allergies and other medical dietary needs, and also health and wellness counseling session, and also sports nutrition.
Okay, thank you. Learning stuff today too as well. All right. Can you guys share, and you can start anywhere, with us your thoughts about some of the student difficulties or presenting issues and how your office helps these students?
I think one of the most misconceptions that I hear from our students is they think that they need to pay for my services, and so the dietary services that I provide here is complimentary, and it's free, and I'm very accessible to all the students. I have QR code, they can book at their convenience, so that's one misconception.
Okay. And how would they find you if they need
So
your services?
Yes, my office is located with Student Health, and at our dining services, they can find my flyer with a QR code where they can easily book online as well.
Okay, thank you.
So one of the misconceptions about Title IX is that you cannot make anonymous reports. So many people are reluctant to report the types of matters that we deal with. We understand that that can be quite difficult to rehash or relive, to retell somebody that. So we have on the online form that I spoke about where you don't have to put your name. You can just fill in all of the other information that you want to fill. Tell us exactly what happened, where it happened, and you don't have to include your name.
Okay. And do you have to include the names of the perceived perpetrator or those sorts of things in that anonymous report?
So you do not. You do not. You can provide as much or as little as you would like. And of course, we would encourage anyone to share as much as you would like. That helps the university to respond. It limits our response if you limit the information, but you can certainly make an anonymous report because some people just want to be heard.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, I'll add to the conversation. We've seen a huge increase in Dr. Hunter's part of answers. We've seen a huge increase of students who are experiencing anxiety and depression, and not clinically. I hope that makes sense because we all are anxious about some things at some point in our lives, but we've seen a huge increase of students who are just fearful about something happening. Even though we've studied this, like 80% of the things you think are going to happen don't really happen. But we've seen a huge increase of students who are just anxious, anxious about a lot of things. And student services for us in the Office of Student Advocacy and Support, our case managers are able to calm some of the angst, not all of it. Then it becomes clinical, referring to you all, Dr. Hummings and Dr. Ruiz-Washington. But we've just seen a huge increase in that, and students can always reach out to us by emailing studentsupport@howard.edu to get a case manager to intervene with some of their circumstances. So, yeah.
All right, thank you, Dr.
So the misconception of our space is that, it really just depends on the individual, right? So they see the title, the Office of Intercultural Affairs and LGBTQ Resource Center. So there are some students who think this is only a center for LGBTQ students. Then there's others who think it's only a center for international students. And really it's a space for any and all students, right? It's just that we, are really intentional on making sure that resources and information is available for those two different identities and populations. So really anyone's welcome to access our space at any time. And we're really supportive about the student orgs that are international and LGBTQ as well too. So anyone's welcome to come. We are actual center as well too. I think there's also this conception that we only do programming. We actually do have a physical center that students can come to downstairs.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. King.
And I think probably one of the biggest misconceptions when people think chapel is that it's just church. And we really touch a broad section. I think we probably touch a student in every corner of the campus through our programming and the things that we do. And with what Dr. Don said, we do see an increased rate of anxiety and depression. And we accompany students until they reach the point where we do refer them to counseling center. And we also are a place because of the nature of the chapel. It's a confidential space. So we do find that students feel comfortable coming and talking about things that they might not find another place on campus where they feel comfortable, which gives us kind of a dual role, as you're working on the projects with us, or you're participating in some of the wellness activities in general, or you're leading some activities. We get to know them, and so, yeah, I think the biggest misconception is that it's just church.
Yeah, I think, well, I know there are many misconceptions about just seeking psychological services, a lot of the stigma, so on and so forth, but I think all of them ultimately boil down to obstacles for students to receive services from the counseling service. And for example, you don't have to pay for our services. They are included in the student fees. You don't have to use your Howard or private insurance to access our fees. If you utilize the services in the counseling service, it does not mean that your parents or guardians will know that you have come to the counseling service for services. There is not a 3-month wait to get in to see someone. You can attend sessions in person or online. A big one is we don't only offer therapy services, and therapy services are not what every student needs when they need support. And so students can access services at different thresholds of investment and benefit from a variety of support that we offer. And so students don't have to necessarily come to the counseling service and participate in therapy. They can follow us online on social media and get a tremendous amount of helpful tips on a daily basis. They can download our app. It's called the WellTrack Boost mobile app. It is accessible by all Howard students. All you need is your Howard email, and you can download the app and utilize the mobile app. And all you have to do, and I think sometimes students feel like there's a bunch of paperwork and there's a whole big process and a big wait to receive services from us. But students can actually contact us and receive the next available appointment, which oftentimes is the same day or the next day. And they can speak to a clinician that same day. All they have to do is call the counseling service. And you can gain access to a clinician 24/7.
That's very helpful. Thank you. Can you share something that you wish our students knew, either about your departments or things that come up when you're working with the students? What's something like you just wish they would know?
I got a whole lot.
I know you do. This question came with you in mind after we're done.
So I wish they knew that retroactive withdrawals are held in their dean's office. I wish they knew that incompletes for coursework is at the professor's discretion. I wish they knew that there is a deadline to drop classes. I say these things out of love, sincerely, but these are a lot of the requests that come to us. We try to help students navigate, but sincerely, those things are really held in different offices. They expect us to have the magic wand to fix those things, and I wish we did. administrators, so, we don't have the magic wand to implement some of those things. But I do want to say, I wish they knew that resources are available immediately the day you step on campus. They are available at the beginning of the semester, they are available at the middle of the semester, and at the end of the semester. Oftentimes, students wait to seek academic adjustments and accommodations at the end of the semester, which we encourage them to do as soon as they get a schedule. Right? So as soon as you get a schedule, you should apply for academic accommodations or adjustments. We encourage students to apply and use their military benefits immediately upon enrolling at Howard University because you need that money, right? So if you don't certify with us until the end of the semester, that money you won't be able to use the money, right? So we do encourage students, or we do wish that students knew that they could do these things a lot sooner. So there are resources available the day you step on campus, and we want students to utilize those resources immediately upon enrollment. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
I'll jump in. So what I wish faculty, staff, and students knew about Title IX is although Title IX is a federal law, Title IX at Howard University is an administrative process. It is not a criminal pursuit. So sometimes people come to us looking for certain actions or a certain response, but they have to seek the court system for certain outcomes. And in Title IX, you can receive many versions of a outcome that might not be what you expect it to be, but it is a resolution, right? So it might not be what you want the outcome to be, but the university will consider the matter to be resolved, and it is all administrative and not a criminal pursuit.
That's good to know. Thank you.
I'll say that, kind of naming what I said before, our center is really for any and all students when it comes to the resources. And it's not, well, I think it's also important to name that the resources we have are really for any identity. So we have resources around substance use and abuse, domestic violence, mental health, gender affirming care. And we also have connections with international students who may need information around like visa process or taxes or job searching, and like all those pieces as well too. We work with different departments to make sure that they get all the information that they need. We're also very intentional in working with the faculty and staff so that they are as culturally competent and culturally aware as possible. So that could be trainings that we do. It could be working with administrators to make sure that they are using correct cultural language. I know I've worked closely with Title IX, for example, on some pieces. So that we are here to care. We also have a really important resource called the Red Door, which is a closet in our center that is free clothing that the students can access. It's really, again, for any and all students, but the intention is for trans, non-binary identified students to access clothing that they may not be able to access otherwise. So yeah, I just wish students would know that we are here with a plethora of resources, even if they are not international or LGBTQI identified. And it's not even, more serious resources, right? We have hair dye and toothbrushes and but we have pins and stickers and flags and snacks and, free Netflix, right? Like, come hang out, so it's really a place to get anything you need.
Yeah, thank you.
The thing that came up for me when you said what I wish students knew was that all of our programming originated with a student who had an idea. So bring your ideas. It's a place where we will help you walk alongside as you develop the program of your dreams. And our programs are student-led. And so I think people are familiar now that the programs are student-led. But when we say that, we mean it. Everything starts with the idea of a student. Our 7 a.m. yoga started because students wanted that, and they wanted to have a space. So, yeah.
I think one important thing that I wish that our students knew is how important it is to establish healthy
think, let's see, I could probably talk about this all day, but I wish students knew that the earlier they get support from us, the better, and how much negative things are avoided by taking part in our services earlier in the semester rather than later. And, I wish the students knew that they are not alone. There are skilled professionals that work 24/7, 365 around the clock to support them, and that students at Howard University have access to doctorate level clinicians that are highly trained, working with diversity and working with this population, and they have access to them for free. That, many people would pay $200, $250 an hour to utilize. And they have that service offered to them around the clock from professionals that look like them, came from where they came from, talk like they talk, been where they've been, walked these same halls and sat in the same seats as the students. And I wish they knew behind the scenes, like working with these professionals, like how much energy, time, and effort put into serving this population. Like the commitment is just off the charts.
Thank you, Dr. Hollings. That's a perfect segue to my last question. What do you enjoy most about working with the Howard student body?
So I'll go first. So, just to give you a little bit of my background, I've been in K through 12 as a teacher, as a coordinator, as a principal, football coach. But there's nothing like Howard, right? And I say that genuinely. I don't say that just to say that. So you come here, I'm going to venture to say it may be the only, if not one of the few places in the world where you will interact with some of the brightest people. I mean, the brightest people, the most dedicated professionals, like Dr. Evans was saying. I mean, you have people who make this their life. And I don't say that meaning like they work here for 30 years. No, I mean like they live and breathe Howard University. They become a part of what we call the Howard culture. And it's hard to explain the culture sometimes because you just have to feel it. And once you become a part of it, you're like, I'm a Howard person now. Like I'm a part of Howard. And my own family said, oh, you just brought into Howard. I said, no, you have to experience it. As you all know, my kids are here. And it's just become an experience. And so, and people always say, like, you work at Howard. It's like, no, we don't really work at Howard. We are Howard, right? Like, we become Howard. And we don't just work. We breathe, live, ingest, and really become a part of a community. And that is how I can summarize it. And I don't know if it's not just about the students, it's about the alums, it's about the students, it's about the faculty, it's about the staff, it's about those that aren't even connected, it's about DC area in itself. Like the whole area just becomes, and you just become engrossed, entrenched, and it just becomes you. So I hope that summarizes my response.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who's gonna follow that?
That's
so
so good
good.
to follow back.
That
That's
was
great. Right. As my background in K-12 as well as a dietitian, one of the reasons why I love being here is because I feel like I'm rooting the kids that I helped build like nutritious meals and fed when they were in elementary school and high school, and then I'm meeting them in college. So that's one part. But the other is also just, having a little bit of clinical background. I just love working in a place where the majority of our students are healthy, and we are taking proactive steps to keep them healthy. So that preventative care is what really attracts me about being here at Howard, and conveying the message and really teaching them how to establish these healthy habits easily while they're young, and then they can sustain that throughout their life. So that's the best part of being here.
That's really good. Thank you.
I think what I love most is, I think for all, students, when they leave their parents' home, it's their first taste of independence, right? But I think it's very unique with my students, right? I think that for my international students, it's the first time of independence in a new country, right? That's major, 18 years old in a new country, by yourself, not knowing anyone many times, right? So navigating that and trying to find culture and community and, there may be language barriers, there may be all types of, challenges that they face. Helping the students navigate those pieces is really essential and really important. And it's great to see them coming into this space kind of like, a fresh canvas, right? And being able to shape and mold themselves however they want to be shaped and molded. And coming out of this institution being able to say, I did that. I am now 22 years old and I can survive in another country by myself. Just naming that is huge. Then we have that other piece of, around students, around, a lot of my LGBTQIA students did not have safe homes to express themselves, right? They could not live in their trans or non-binary identity or their gay, lesbian, bisexual identity at home. And so now they're free to explore that. They can figure out, who am I? What do I like? Who am I internally? What is my name? How do I identify? And we're able to curate a safe space for that to happen. And not only a safe space internally for them, mentally and emotionally, but making sure that we're providing them PrEP access and condoms and testing and trans affirming care and resources where they can do things in a safe manner and explore as much as they want to explore, so that coming out of Howard University in 4, 6, 8 years, they have more of a self of who they are, so that when they go into the quote-unquote real world, they are doing it in where they feel a lot more confident with who they are, and they can really just be themselves. For 18 years, they haven't been able to just be themselves. So that's why I appreciate a lot of students.
Really, I see Howard as shaping and molding the leaders and the change makers of the future. It has a history and a tradition of doing so. And this student body, I expect them to be the leaders. I expect them to be the experts. I expect them to change, literally change the world as we know it. And that is the investment, that is the type of investment that I feel like we as the staff and faculty of Howard we should keep that in mind when investing in Howard students. And, you know, it is an honor and a privilege to work with individuals with that much potential. You can get a paycheck, but you can get a paycheck anywhere. But contributing to the advancement of people who look like you, the development of your own culture, community, and society, that is a different type of service when you offer it, you know. And so, that's the benefit of working with our students.
So from the aspect of Title IX, I would say that it's kind of a dual role. So we have a charge to shape the community with education. So we're shaping, you know, our students, our faculty, our staff. We're giving them guidelines, guardrails, how to behave here at, you know, the illustrious Howard University. So we have a compliance role here in the community. And then also shaping the process. So if they engage with the Title IX process, so we're making sure that we're following all of our policies, all of our procedures, making sure that everybody has a non-biased, you know, gender-inclusive process when they're engaging with the Title IX office. So I'm hoping that, you know, our baby bison, you know, go out into the world and they carry those lessons that we are imparting upon them, you know, because some of the things that occur in the Title IX space are actual crimes. So we're hoping that we're teaching you that you cannot behave in certain ways, you can't do certain things, and there's an appropriate way to do things and appropriate way to say things. So that's one of the things that I'm most proud about, like shaping and adding to their toolkits, so when they become professionals and they go out into the world, they'll know how to govern themselves accordingly.
Thank you. All right. I just want to thank all of you for being here today and talking about how you support our student body. Can you just let them know real quick, once again, how do they contact you or receive your services?
Sure, to start. Again, my name is AJ King. I am the Director of the Office of Intercultural Affairs and LGBTQ Resource Center. We are located in Blackburn on the ground floor, right by the men's restroom. So if you just come into our space, we are in the back, and just come walk in. If you need to contact me, my email is aj.king@howard.edu.
Student Services, as I stated earlier, has several offices and locations, so it's just easier to email student support at howard.edu. But if you're military connected, it's easier to email veterans at howard.edu. So, but in general, student support at howard.edu.
Yeah, and Title IX is always accessible by the main Title IX page. Email address, title9@howard.edu. It is confidential, so no one else sees that email box other than the professionals in the Title IX office, or you can always reach me directly at angie.loganpope@howard.edu.
And with the counseling service, you can give us a call at 202-806-6870. Our crisis line number is 202-345-6709. You can also reach us on Instagram, which is HU_counseling service. And you can always download our app, the WellTrack Boost app, and get connected with us that way.
And again, I'm Cynthia Rodwell in the Office of the Dean of the Chapel. I didn't get to go when we talked about what we like to do about working, and I got so fascinated listening to everybody. But I will just simply say I work for joy. Our students are amazing, and everybody said it so eloquently. There is really nothing like working with young people at this particular time in their lives. But at Howard, we have a very special student. And so, again, you know, in the chapel, we really view our role as coming alongside students and supporting their overall wellness. So we are located in the Carnegie Building, first floor and lower level. Chapel at howard.edu. The website is chapel.howard.edu. My email is cynthia.rodwell@howard.edu.
I'm Maron Safo, campus dietitian for Howard Dining Services. If you go to our dining location, you can find my QR code. Or if you don't, you can also access my services through Student Health Center.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Myra.